Hi everyone, I am back today with a review of the Kipling 100 pen case. These pen cases are extremely popular. They come in a lot of variety of colors and patterns that you can choose from. These retail for $44, and they do have some specialty fabrics and colors that retail for up to $59. Now, I have known about this case for quite a few months, probably years now, and I do what I do when I think of a product that I might work for me, and that is I kind of sit back, I do some research, I think about how it would work for me, I watch some videos, then I make a decision, and if I decide to buy it, I want to buy it at the best price available. So as you can see, I went ahead and bought a Kipling case. This particular color, this vibrant pink, was only $23 on Amazon. And I'm not really a pink girly girl kind of a person, but for almost half price I can deal with that color. The Kipling cases are also known for having gorillas. I don't really care about those, but a lot of people think they're very cute. Let's start with the outside. It comes with a very durable zipper. It has a really wide teeth. It's very strong. The depth is 2 inches. The width across is 6.5 inches, and it is 8.5 inches tall. Now, I think this is a really great size. It is, I think, small enough that it would be portable if you want to carry around that many pens or other things that you're carrying. Yet, I think it's not too small, not too big. I just think it's a really good size. The fabric on the outside, I don't think this is one of their claims, but it does feel like it would be stain and water resistant. I'm sure it's not waterproof, but it feels really good. It's a nice fabric that they're using. Let's go ahead and open it up. The zipper is really easy and smooth. It probably looks a little bit more difficult because I am trying to go around my tripod here. When you open it up, it's got 14 pen loops on the left and 12 on the right. And then it has a big open compartment. So for me, if you add 14 plus 12 is 26, and if this is supposed to hold 100 pens, then obviously you're supposed to be able to fit 74 pens in here. Now, in all my video watching, I was not able to find the answer to the question of, does the 100 pen case actually hold 100 pens? So let me go ahead and show you. This may be just a little bit loud, but you're going to have to trust me, but this is 74 pens. And they're not all going to fit the same way. You're going to have to fit some horizontally and some vertically. So here are the 74 pens. So you kind of have to jiggle them around a little bit, but the answer is yes, 74 pens will fit in here. Now this is where I start to have issues because you fold over the flap and it sticks up, and then you have to fold over the cover. And then as you can see, it becomes really fat. Now I have done this many times now with this 100 pens in here, and I have never been able to close it. I can always get to about right here halfway, and it's just too fat. Now you can probably, maybe, yeah, I don't even think you can. Because even if you could close it, as you can see right here, this is putting a lot of stress on the zipper. So I think even if you could close it, I think eventually, even though the zipper is extremely strong, I think it's going to start ripping. So the answer to that question technically is yes, you can fit 100 pens in here, with an asterisk that you may not be able to close it. So that is not going to work for me, obviously, if I can't fit 100 pens in a 100 pen case. So let's take those out, and then let's go back to the elastics, and I'll talk with you for a few minutes about those. The elastics themselves are unbelievably tight. Now you want your pens to be able to be, sturdy and not move, but these are way too tight for me. These right here are Flair pens, if you're not familiar with those. It's a very popular pen. They are a normal size pen, and I had a heck of a time getting them in and out of there. I really love these pens. This is my color coding system. So what I wanted, since I wasn't able to fit 100 pens in here, what I wanted is to have all my color coding pens in here. and then be able to have some washi in there. Now I will go ahead and show you a little bit with the washi in there and how it does, like the pens with the 74 pens in here, it does fit. It fits really well. The washi comes right up to the edge, but like with the pens in there, you're going to have the problem of it does fit, but when you go to close it, it's still going to stick up, and you're still going to have zipper problems when you're trying to get all that in there. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, well, why don't you just store your washi in there flat like this? The problem with that is I can't see what the washi is, and I need to be able to see if I'm going to want to use it. So this doesn't work for me laying flat like this. I want it to see it upright and be able to, let's turn that around, to see the washi because I want specific kinds. So that is another option that is not going to work for me. So storing all my pens in there is not going to work. Storing my color coding with my washi in there isn't going to work. So back to the elastics. I don't know if you can see, but these stick up. They don't lay flat. So I don't know if that would bother some of you. These right here with the flap in the middle, they do lay completely flat. So that's really nice. The other issue with the elastics is when you fold this, it doesn't matter how you mess with it. You're still going to have problems with this elastic right here on the end butting up against the zipper. It's still going to be a hard time closing that. Now, if you put stuff in this bottom compartment, you can probably fill it up to, I would say, half at the most. And that way the flap would sit down a little bit farther and you will be able to have an easier time zipping it up. I don't know if you can see, but there is some buckling right here with just having this flare right here on the end. So there's always going to be just a little bit of an issue right there. You can probably see it even better, the zipper sticking out because there's the buckle right there from the flare. So with the flares, this is a normal size pen. Let me show you. This is a Pilot G2, which according to Jet Pens is the #1 selling pen, especially in America. I don't know if worldwide. This is the normal pen, which means that so many people love this pen, and it's just a good normal size pen. So as you can see, it's about the same size as the flares. So it's going to be hard getting it in and out as well. I'm going to show some different pens in here. If you watch other videos, you'll notice that people have smaller pens in here, which I'll get to in a minute, but I don't know if you can tell, but I have to get this pen in, I have to lift up really far on the elastic, and then I have to push really hard to get that pen in. Because of the grip gets in the way, as well as the width. Then you have other pens like the Microns, where it's a teeny bit thinner, but then you have this bottom part where it has a little ledge on here. So the ledge gets in the way of the elastic. Again, you're going to have to pull up on the elastic, get those in and out. That, I don't like that. That's a problem for me. I think when you have pen loops like this, they need to be really easy to get in and out with your pen, because otherwise you're just going to, throw them in, which I think a lot of people probably end up doing. So those, I've had a lot of issues with the pen loops. Let me show you a couple other pens. These are some other pens that are really popular, the Staedtlers. Now with the Staedtlers, they are a little bit thinner than the flares, and I do see some people that have their Staedtlers in these loops. My issue with that is I really like the cases that the Staedtlers come with. It's nice hard plastic, and then it folds into a stand. So I don't really have any motivation to move my Staedtlers into loops that are going to be really hard to get in and out of. I will show you that they are just a little bit easier to get in and out of, but again, you're going to have that ledge that's going to be a problem. So something to think of. The other pens that I see a lot of people putting in there are these Marvila pens. I have small handwriting and I have really small hands as well. So I prefer these really thin, small pens, but I can't imagine with people with normal handwriting would prefer these. These again have a little bit of a ledge, so it's going to get stuck again, but it's going to be easier to get in and out of. because they're a little bit thinner. And you probably will have a little bit an easier time with them across this way, and they probably will be able to sit just a little bit lower. So you may not have quite the zipper problems, but you're still going to have some zipper problems there. The other thing is this back part. Now when you flip this, obviously this has 12 like I said. When you flip this over, I don't understand why this also does not have elastics on it. Claire from Romany's Realm has a really good hack on where she did elastic on the end right here, on just the two edges, and she puts stickers in here. It's a super fantastic hack if that's the way you want to use your pen case. I do know how to sew, so I thought about maybe doing the elastics and also doing them over here, but the problem is it's really, really thick cardboard. I don't know if my machine needle could get through that. I've also seen people cut off this flap, but I think for the price, I don't see why you have to do hacks and, you know, cut things off to make this expensive of case work. If this pen case is so awesome, I don't think you should have to do that. I did think about sewing something where it has cloth partitions where you could, for instance, I could put my microns right here and they could stack up and they could all be together, because when you want a certain pen and you want a certain color and a certain nib size, you know what you want and you want it to be accessible. So it could stack right here and then there could be a fabric partition. The problem with that is, again, you're going to have your pen stacking up to the zipper and it's going to be hard to close. So again, that is not going to be an option for me either. I also don't like that if it's going to be bulging. I think the pen case should just sit like this. Now I'm sure a lot of you do what I have seen, and people store their creative supplies, their art supplies, scrapbooking supplies, and their planner supplies in here. Again, I have an issue with that simply because I didn't buy a pen case to store stickers. I bought a pen case to store my pens. I think it's a really great concept to have all your pens together, because like I said, when you want a certain pen, you want a certain color, you want a certain, you know, point size, it should just be all right here. So I have not been able to find out a way to make this work for me. I'm going to be in the very small minority of people who are just not gaga over this pen case. But for me, I'm sitting on the fence and I'm leaning towards no for me. I'm going to give it a couple more weeks. I have had this case, I still have the tag on it, but I've had this case for over a month now, trying to brainstorm and trying different things on how it's going to work for me, and I haven't found out a way yet. So I may end up giving it to my planner bestie if she wants it. I may end up giving it to my mother-in-law. She's an artist, and so maybe paintbrushes would fit better in here, as long as they're, you know, not wet or dirty. I don't know. All I know is how I don't want to say normal, but how people normally use this case is not working for me. And so I'm going to play it by ear for a couple more weeks and see if I can make it work. But so far, it's going to be a no for me. Anyway, I hope this review helps you. I will link Romany's video below because I do think it's such a great hack for her elastic right here. I will link that below if you like that. But anyway, I hope this review is helpful, whether it convinces you that yes, this will work for you, or no, it won't, and you can save some money. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.